Have you since grown into the role in a way? Are you still shy of singing? Or?
I'm not really shy at all anymore.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not like, I don't know. It really, like, that was great for character development in the plot of Dara's life. I don't know.
Was there a turning point then for you, or was it straight from when the band said, okay, now you're gonna sing, then you kind of?
I don't know. It was just like it gradually got more normal,
okay.
And it was just like at the first practice I was terrified, and I was like, oh well, potentially could be a singer in a band that I like a lot, you know, that I love, you know,
right.
I really loved the band, and I loved hanging out with Alan Duggan and like all that, like I'd been in Daniel's shed in the middle of Glassland was like the coolest thing to me, like it was my highlight of my week, you know, and I was like, I potentially could really enjoy this role, because you go home, like, and you rock out your room when you're 15, which I haven't done in a while, probably due would,
right.
And you're kind of like, you pretend to be the singer, like, even then I'd be like the rhythm guitar player, I wouldn't be the lead guitar player, because I'd feel even self-conscious in my head when I'm on my own, probably in the knit, dude, like solo, I couldn't put myself to even pretend to go like this, because I just thought it was too weird looking, so I'd be the rhythm guitar player or like the singer, but if someone came in, I'd shit myself, it'd be the worst, it was the most embarrassing thing. So like, I had like everything to gain to be like my ideal thing, because I always wanted, like, even like John Lennon and stuff like that, and when I was like, just always wanted to be a Beatle, you know, like I want to help every day, like I always wanted to, like, the Beatles just seemed to be the most perfect thing to me when I was growing up, and probably still are. Like I really ignore a lot of the flaws, and for good reason, and like, and yeah, I guess like it just. The downside to it was real adrenaline rush, which I'm like, my nickname is Safety Thumbs, like, because I'm very one of my many flattery nicknames.
I can go through a lot of nicknames.
Please don't.
We'll make a list.
We're going live.
If we get at the end,
We'll
just like
scroll a list.
if we could do like a credits thing where it's just like all his nicknames, that would be unbelievable. Like, I would really like that.
Yeah, so you can see why I was a bit intimidated by the hostile atmosphere.
Right.
You know, Colosseum of a shed. You know.
But when it's you mentioned the songs you weren't particularly proud of the songs that were written 8 years ago. So what was the first song, or maybe a couple, that you felt, okay, now we've kind of found our way?
Yeah, I mean, like,
what and how long ago was that?
well, like, I mean, when we started Girl Band, the very first practice was a very interesting one, in the sense that it was kind of a double audition, right? So like Dara, you know, essentially was auditioning to be singing. He was our friend or whatever, and it's not like, well, you got 3 out of 5 there, or it was not like that, but it was like, oh, we got to see what he's like.
Right.
And then Adam, it was the first time we'd ever met Adam. Like Daniel had met him a few times working with him in the studio, but we'd never met him, so it was like, I've heard he's a good drummer. I don't know, like we'll see. And we were in there and we were working through a song, and it was sounding all right. It was sounding a little bit flat, and Adam was pretty good. Dara was like was okay, but you know, understandably, it's, you know, first time singing in front of us. It's a bit of a weird change.
Right.
And then so we started doing this other song, which ended up being our first single. Was In My Head. And if you know that song, it starts like really full on with like the music, but the vocals are very laid back, except for the second part of the song where the vocals scream the whole time. So anyway, we were practicing that, and Dara had wrote the drums for that song, and we were like, okay, Adam, can you play these drums? And it's a bit of it's not like a super complicated drum beat, but it's not it's incredibly complicated. But it's not like, you know, it's not a steady beat. So so we showed Adam it, and he got it straight away. And I was like, okay, cool, Adam actually really play drums. And we started playing the song, and it was cool because like everything started lifting, and Dara was just like, like really quiet. And it was like, oh, okay, yeah, that's fine. Like, you know, kind of focusing on Adam. But then it got to the bit, like when the song kind of breaks down, it goes into the second bit of the song, it's just like full on screaming. And Dara just started screaming his head off. And it was like one of these moments, like, because the way the room was set up, like I was here, Daniel was here, the drums were here, and Dara was here, and that's the way we had it, which is actually still the way we do it today. But that's the way we had the practice room laid out. We were playing like that, and then just like kind of focusing on Adam and kind of looking at Daniel every day. I was like, oh, this is good, like, you know. And then hearing Dara screaming was just a bit of a like what the fuck? Like, it was like really, really bizarre because this incredibly shy guy, like just like, I was like, whoa, he's got issues, you know. But yeah, so it was that, and like, you know, from there onwards, there was no like, oh, now we found our sound, you know. There was nothing like that. But that was the first time I think we all clicked, knowing that we were all onto something that we liked, and we knew we could all play. And when we finished it, it was interesting to see how everyone sat with it, because it was a very weird song, and it was very different to Adam's band that he was in. He was in a post-rock band. It was very different to the bands that we had been in. And it was like, how does everyone feel about that? And everyone was just like, yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. And it was nice because, you know, it kind of set the bar in terms of like, right, making a chorus is not really important, is it? You know, and from there it kind of went on. And then, you know, as it goes on, we started discovering new music and getting influenced in different ways, and feeling out what we were good at and what we weren't good at. But no, it was a nice starting point, and that ended up being our first single. And it's like, you know, we're very proud of it to have it as a first single. And, you know, we released it on a CD and stamped it and numbered it, so it's a nice little thing to own, like for us, you know, which is cool.
And you mentioned these different influences, and one of these is electronic music. Had that always been an influence of you? Of yours?
Like, I mean, throughout the band, different members, not so much. For me, yeah. Okay. Like that first thing, I really like that beat. You know, I mean, you came up with that beat. For me, I always heard that beat in a very Chemical Brothers way. I always thought it was like block rock and beats or something like that. For in my head, that first single.
I liked it.
We just stopped. Yeah, no, I mean, it had always been. I think the first time we approached it in terms of a song structure was the first song that's off our first EP called France 98. It's a song called You're a Dog, which is, there's no chorus, and it was just like follow the groove and where does it go, and you can veer off that way and veer off that way. And after that, then discovering more and more techno, more and more minimal techno, you'd see how they really move a musical idea on and on and on with a very simple beat and with one note. And that's what we kind of do a lot. It's like very simple beats and very monotonous, I don't know, like just single note. Like, it's not very melodic in that way, or harmonious. Different words I've learned in school, I can't think of them. But school music words. Yeah, like, it was just like it was a good way of thinking about to structure songs, like the little tricks that they have in different techno songs, like bring the beat in on the two, and like using steady hats to offbeat hats and hi-hats and stuff like that. It was a really good way of thinking of it. But it's one of many influences, you know, and I think it's something that people have latched onto a lot, which is cool. But it's not coming from every aspect of the band, you know. There's like, in terms of groove, there's big Afrobeat influences. There's you know, like weird avant-garde influences. There's you know, like straight up punk influences, like in terms of hardcore beats.
But we're massive Beatle fans. You know, like we don't want to destroy melody or anything. Like, we're gonna,
not at all.
Like, we love that.